Hey, man, hold on. Let me get the salute back in there. Shit, hold on. Let me know when you guys are ready.
We're live on YouTube, everybody. Get ready.
Oh,
Gonzo, this is the couch.
Let's start this off with a little prayer.
Yes, amen. So it's bad Catholic.
Holy Mother, full of grace, bless my boyfriend's gorgeous face. Bless his hands so nice and strong. Keep his hands where they belong. Bless his dick, the one I sucked, and bless the bed in which we fuck. And if our parents should walk in, Lord bless the shit that we be in.
Yeah, amen. Ooh.
that was beautiful. That
And
was
namaste for somebody
beautiful.
out there, you know. Yeah.
Some religious freak is going to come and report us now.
We're non-denominational.
It doesn't matter. This is YouTube. You can say whatever the fuck you want on YouTube, can't you?
No, unless you make money.
No, we got channel warning for saying somebody was, what the fuck was it, like a gay or something?
People are gay. So what the fuck? You're not allowed to say what people are anymore?
No, like you can't say the N-word. You can't
Okay, well, the N-word's different than saying somebody's gay. Gay is a sexual orientation.
You can't
And if
say
they happen to be gay.
no narcissism.
You can't even call a white person a CR. Yeah, you guys, one of those yummy things you put peanut butter on. You can't call.
But I am a cracker.
We call that a gonzo.
You're gonna get us banned for saying that.
Oh, man.
Are you kidding?
No,
you can say,
I've seen it already before.
Can
What the fuck?
Can you say crack-a-lackin'?
You can't as long as you don't point it at anybody directly. Like a friend of mine got
Can you self-apply the name to yourself?
They were a cracker.
But hey, wait. So hold on. My brother has kids, so technically, can I call myself Uncle Cracker?
No, it's copyrighted. Yes. Copyrighted. We're getting shut down.
You're right. It is copywritten. Shit.
Not if you spell it differently.
Well, let's call you a graham cracker because you're kind of sweet sometimes. You're not always salty.
I'm salty. I'm just usually petty.
Don't be talking.
Rise and grind.
All right, everybody, this is the couch. We are going to do Stampede's interview tonight, but we have a code name, an alias. It would be a very poor joke, but I was going to say another personality. JP is with us at this moment. We want to actually get a little serious with everybody out there. Us as a crew and a group and as a radio station, we want to do a little give back for those that suffer from mental illness, from don't want to commit suicide, people that overdose, you know, how to deal with it, you know, but from a fan artist point of view, to show the relationship in music and how it helps both the fan and the artist, how people connect and don't feel alone is a general premise of it. We're going with the hashtag have hope. Let's make it famous. And see if we can help and cure other people. So we also got another show called Letters to the Living Dead. It's JP and Living Dead Girl. Both people that they struggle, you know, daily with their own, you know, afflictions. Not for me to speak on, they will speak on their own, which, by the way, gives a unique perspective to this show because we're not just suit and tie. They're not just suit and tie people. You're not sitting, even though this show is called The Couch, you don't have to come here, sit on the couch and tell us your problems unless you want to, you know, but it's for you to be able to talk to somebody else that's going through it. And that's pretty much the setup for what we got going on. And we're going to talk a little bit about that because we have my right-hand man here, Gonzostylez. We have King Duke. And we're both going to ask a little questions from the Living Dead Girl and from JP here and kind of get their perspective on things and what they would hope to accomplish. All right. Everybody say hi to everybody in YouTube land.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
I just want to say we all have issues here. That's very abundantly clear, I believe. All right. So I'll ask first. You guys want to talk a little bit about what you guys kind of go through, or where do you guys want to go with this show? Like, we'll help lead you through this. You guys kind of tell what you want, you know, and the people listening what they can expect from your show.
Go ahead, Josh. You take that one.
Well, I feel that with everything that I have been going through not just these past few days, these past few weeks, past few years, but these past few decades. It's been a hell of a fucking roller coaster, right? And needless to say, when you go through some shit like this, you tend to start to feel that maybe you are the only one that views shit and sees shit and feels shit the way that you do, and nobody else can understand that. And once I started talking to, Living Dead Girl, I finally found somebody who actually understood what it was I was seeing, what it was I was hearing, what it was I was feeling, what it was to go through what I went through on a fucking minute-to-minute basis, not just a day-to-day basis, because that's the glorious thing about this issue, I guess that most people call it, is that it's literally a second-to-second thing. You live literally moment to moment because you don't know what's going to happen next. And I want this show to be able to give other people that opportunity that I was given in life, meeting and Living Dead Girl.
Okay. I want people to know that they're not alone and that they're not the only one that deals with multi-personality or any type of mental illnesses, and that mental illness shows no discrimination. It doesn't matter if you're famous and got millions and millions of dollars, or you're someone as simple as me or say him. But it knows no boundaries. Nobody is immune from mental illness, and I want people to understand that this is a safe place that they can come and talk to and get advice, and maybe find us as someone they can confide in when nobody in the outside world understands what's going on. Because I've been dealing with multi-personality disorder since I was 5 years old. I am now 33. It was pushed off for many of years that it was imaginary friends, things like that. And I was well in my, I want to say teens, upper, almost adults before they realized that I have 7 different personalities. And that's a hard struggle to go through by yourself, especially when nobody understands and you have nobody to talk to. In 33 years, he's the only one I've ever met that deals with multi-personalities. And it was a big relief to know that I have somebody that I'm so close with that actually deals with some of the same things I do. And it was a big relief lifted off my shoulder to know that I'm truly not alone because I have him. I mean, I got a big support base. I got my parents. I got Michael. I know I got King Duke. I have a huge support base, but ultimately, nobody other than JP understands what I'm really going through and what I deal with and struggle with on a daily basis. So I just want this to be a safe place for other people to come and understand that we've been there, we've been them. We can help.
Right.
That's
very
awesome,
very
man.
heartfelt. Very, very heartfelt. I don't know if you got a question for him, Josh. I do. I want to get out there real quick because it relates to this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think that the illness itself, or is it the way society can't seem to connect on that level with you that is almost worse in itself? Like, do you think it would be easier if you were able to connect more with, society versus, not being able to? Would it help with the disease more? Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Josh, answer that.
I'm gonna speak for myself because that's the only person I can speak for. But I feel things would be a hell of a lot better if I could easily just walk down the street and if I started having an episode that someone's gonna be a little bit more understanding and see the signs and maybe be able to help me through it, as opposed to thinking, oh, he's just a crazy lunatic, let's throw him in the loony bin and da 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 da. Yeah, I feel it'd be a lot better if society was not only more understanding but accepting. Because the number one thing that I've noticed is that the minute that people find out you have something wrong mentally, whether it be ADHD, bipolar, schizophrenia, multiple personality, autism, dementia, whatever the case, the minute they find out you have any kind of mental illness, people are on you like a fucking vulture. They don't care. They don't care about what you may have to go through. They don't care about what you may not understand, and what may be more difficult for you is as a breeze for them. And they take that for granted, and they laugh at you, and they talk shit about you because you can't simply just function.
I agree to a certain extent. It would be easier to a degree if more people, I feel like more people need to have awareness about it. But I think if everybody just understood and took it as someone being overweight, just a grain of salt, that we wouldn't get the help that we truly need. Because if it's just, I don't know, I feel like if everybody was used to it, then it would get brushed underneath the rug, and we would get pushed to the side because we're just like everyone else. And that's what people need to understand. We are nothing like everybody else, except somebody that suffers with schizophrenia, especially. People can suffer from depression and all other sorts of things. And I'll tell you, it's different from suffering with schizophrenia. That is one thing that nobody's going to understand unless they deal with that personally themselves. And it really frustrates me when you get like doctors and stuff, because they went to school for 8, 10, 12 years. Like they think they know all about it when they don't know nothing because they don't deal with it. There's a difference from being book smart about it and being physically smart because you deal with it. Have the things doctors tell your family and everybody to do, even what they tell us as patients to do, don't work at all. And I feel like if society was more accepting, we would be pushed under the rug more than we already are.
Very true. It's a very, very good point. Both of them, I think, are very great points. And yet again, it brings to light this show and why it's needed, so that people can be able to talk and reach out to other people that do understand what they're going through. And we're not saying one illness is over the other illness. We're not saying that at all. And there's so much more layers to all this. What causes mental illness, whether it's, traumatic stuff you go through, where it's, your genes, then there's the whole other part of it where there's addiction, the suicide, things that I'm sure we'll touch upon in your guys' show,
So I have a question based on that. Do you guys feel like having a sense of community, having people to talk to, and having people that relate to your problems is a better medicine than the medication that's prescribed?
I can't personally answer that because I've never met anybody besides my co-host right here, JP, who's dealt with schizophrenia. For like depression and things like that, maybe a little, but ultimately, until you meet somebody that goes through things that you are going through the exact way and same thing, you're not really going to have that connection with anybody.
Okay.
So no matter how empathetic somebody is, it doesn't, just because they're sympathizing with you doesn't mean that they understand what you're going through, is basically what you're saying.
Exactly.
I hate to say it like this. I really hate to say it like this, because what I'm about to equate it to is a very, 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 very foul thing to have done to another person. However, I feel the extremity of it is necessary to get someone else who doesn't understand to understand. So one doesn't understand a rape victim until they've been raped. Okay, so like, I hate to bring it to that point, but it's the fact. Like, One doesn't understand. I wouldn't understand what my friends here at work would go through growing up through life with them being black. I don't understand what they go through. I've seen it. I've seen my friends who are black be mistreated by all sorts of people, police, the government itself. But I don't understand because I haven't gone through it.
Right.
I
they
wouldn't
can always sympathize, but actually truly understanding, they can't.
Exactly.
All right.
However, to throw my answer to that question, I personally think that having a community that actually understood, 100% actually understood, and was able to communicate with me through any type of situation that I was going through, to be able to communicate with Living Dead Girl through any situation she was going through, or anybody else who's suffering from any kind of mental illness through whatever situation they're going through. If we had a community like that, it would be 100 times better than any of the fucking medication they want to quote unquote prescribe as medication to the fucking patients that they want to try to take care of. Sorry.
Okay, I want to throw something in there out there for people listening. We're not saying stop taking your meds. We're not
at all.
No, we're just trying to say there's other options here. We're trying to give a different therapy, and that's, you know, kind of based with the AA thing. It takes one addict working with another addict, or an alcoholic working with another alcoholic, and they both grow and learn from it. It's kind of the same thing we got going on here. Agree?
Agreed.
I'm gonna try.
And that's kind of what I wanted to get to. Is you guys are kind of trying to provide that for people with Letters to the Living Dead, is to provide a sense of community and real genuine understanding, because you guys yourself suffer from these mental illnesses. Everybody suffers from something, but you guys both have the commonality of the multiple personality disorder. So you guys can definitely reach out to other people with that same issue, and you guys can not only understand them, but really relate to them and like put yourself in their shoes because you've been there. And I think that is super helpful. And I think like anybody with any kind of issue, when somebody else has the same issue and they've walked in those shoes, having somebody that genuinely understands you, it heals your heart better than anything. And that's kind of why I was asking you that question, because I wanted to know if that's how you guys felt as well. Absolutely. I love those shades, but
I had to.
Yeah, those are sick.
No, nice. I see him now. Sorry. Trying to get YouTube on my other device here to see if we've got any comments. We've had 2 viewers. We want to thank you for checking in with us. You're learning something.
Oh, fuck you.
What's that?
That's my parents tuning into us.
Oh, is it?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, my parents want to learn more about the till. I mean, it wasn't until this last episode where I recently had to check myself in because of hallucinations. Was my sister able to even kind of explain to my parents to a point way better than any of the doctors have ever explained it to my parents in the last 30 years. So my parents are really happy and glad about this show, especially since they can get insights from somebody other than myself, which I can totally understand. And I hope this show helps them understand and be able to deal with me and my issues in a better sort of way also. So shout out to my parents for trying to learn and grow and be able to deal with things differently when it comes to me. I greatly appreciate your guys' effort.
Most definitely. Go ahead.
I have a question about the actual illness itself. When you guys are experiencing your multiple personalities, is it a constant thing where you're constantly thinking like, you know, however many different people, or is it like sometimes somebody will take over?
For me, I hear all of them at once sometimes, but I have had episodes where they take over. Like, I've woken up at a water tower with the butcher knife in my hand. I've woken up on the couch with the butcher knife on my hand in my hands. Michael has seen different personalities himself. I think he can describe 3 of them or 4 of them, but I don't remember when I go into these episodes either. So they go both ways for me.
Well, see, for me, until I actually was able to sit down and try to concentrate and then try to understand it, it was just a constant yelling.
Yep.
Like constant yelling, just constant, and it was more visual than anything else. You know what I mean? So hold on one second. I've got somebody trying to get on to view this.
I'll take over real quick while you do that. I get visuals, I get the hearing, and I also feel things touching me that aren't there. Like, I get it at me from all angles. And sometimes if I'm just hearing them, it takes a while for me to have to check myself in or go get something regulated with my meds. This last time, I got it from all angles, and it literally drove me insane. I could not do it. While I was at the unit, I literally sat in the corner, blocked by the couch and the wall, just rocking because the voices wouldn't stop. And I kept seeing people hanging from the roof, dude, and feeling things touch me. It was absolutely horrifying. And I had to check myself in. I had no other choice. I was going to hurt myself or hurt somebody else. They had to go. They had to quiet down.
Wow, that just sounds like it would almost be too much to handle. You know what I mean? And the fact that you guys function in society and you know nobody knows that about you guys unless you tell them. Like that's amazing to me because like yeah, I know for me if I was going through that like I don't know that I could be a functioning member of society. I'm sure that like it really affects your daily lives.
I wouldn't say I'm a functioning member of society. I don't go out of my house unless I absolutely have to. If I could do all my shopping online, I would. Michael does most of our shopping. I go in the store and within like 20, 30 minutes, I'm breaking down crying because it's too much. I have extreme agoraphobia, which is fear of being in situations that I cannot control and fear of people. When I go to shows, I map out exits, I map out my plan, and I stay in an area that I can control. I would not possibly consider me a functioning member of society because I don't go into society unless I absolutely have to. It's too much for me.
Which is very true. I have a question, and it kind of leads off into how we got to this. Since you got to that point, let's backtrack a day before, and this kind of gave root to the idea of what we're doing now. King Duke did an interview with Anthony Beast Mode, and it was real heartfelt. Like Duke really connected with the guy, his personal friend of yours, and it got so deep that artist connected with Christina, which helped push her forward. Would you like to speak on that, Christina?
So some of the things he talked about is some of the things he said really hit me to the point that, well, he said, don't be afraid to get help if you need it. We all need help sometimes. And then he started talking about kids, and I lost it. Not very many people know what happened with my kids, and I don't feel I want to talk on that right now, especially on a live. But it hit me. His conversation actually threw me more into a manic phase and more of the hallucination. But it was okay because I felt like I was safe to go get help. So the whole thing went good, but it also was bad, but in a good way, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. This is a question for everybody on here, for the whole crew. What music has helped you guys out? Like, can you guys share an inspirational story with music? I have one, but I want to wait for let you guys express yours.
I'd like to hear JP speak on it first.
Sorry, I'm kind of lost right now. It'd have to probably be "Smells Like Teen Spirit" from Nirvana. I remember that song very clearly as the song that was playing when I first started hearing anything at all that wasn't my actual thoughts. I don't know how young I must have been at that point, but I remember hearing that song and that song being the thing that kind of, I don't know, it's weird. See, Living Dead Girls don't understand this, but it's hard to explain, but it's going to make sense because like that song helped me create my section that I have for between me and the others. Like it's what gave me the strength to create my own place in my own mind.
It's like the persona that you put together to be able to deal with each other. That's kind of how Living Dead Girl is. Living Dead Girl is my persona, and like I literally feel like I'm a living dead girl. Like, so I understand that.
Well, so I'm gonna go ahead and break the topic real quick and speak on what you guys are speaking on. So you guys have had to create a separate personality as a mediator between the rest of your personalities?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. See, this is really interesting to me because I haven't had a lot of insight into multiple personality disorders. And you know,
person that's named Corinne. That's my sister, my best friend for 15 years. And the reason why she's named Corinne is because she's the only nice voice in my head, and she tells the other ones to stop and to leave me alone and not to say those things to me. And I told my sister this, and she said, well, that's good. She can stay there. But the moment she starts acting out of line, I'm going to whoop her ass and she's got to go. But Corinne is my safety when it comes. She's been there from everything for the last 15 years, through the issues with my kids, through everything. She's my safety when it comes to my mental health. So that's why I'm safe to name her after my sister.
Right there, that is.
So to kind of speak on that, you know, what a lot of people get misconstrued it is the other guy, his name is Frank, okay, and you can ask Gonzo.
Frank's a dick.
Frank's a dick. Frank is an asshole. But here's the thing about Frank. Frank is actually my guardian. He's the one who took care of me and protected me from whatever the fuck else that thing is. I've not ever spoken on this part, okay? A lot of people have heard me talk about Frank, and a lot of people have seen Frank come out. What I'm going to talk about is something that I don't ever talk about, but I feel it's necessary for other people who may be going through this. Growing up, the thing that was screaming, the thing that was trying to holler and just, you know, dement me and everything like this, I don't know necessarily male, female. All I know is it is anger. You know, it's nothing but anger and rage. And growing up with, you know, I've demented Frank. That's part of the problem. That's the reason why Frank is an asshole, is because I demented him, because I was trying to figure out if he was part of it or if he was actually my guardian. And growing up, I misconstrued the two. Finally, I was able to understand, here we are, history, la-di-da. But that thing it when that thing takes over, it's I blame Frank for that. I'm not even gonna lie. A lot of people, they see, this asshole-ish side, a guy who, yeah, I'm still goofy, I'm still funny, da 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 da, but I'm now completely deadpan serious. Whereas whenever that thing comes out, I've had it happen here at the store once, and it's kind of embarrassing because a lot of people don't understand, but it's also not necessarily embarrassing, more terrifying because it makes you think you're losing the battle. Um, it it looks more like a caged animal. Like, I start pacing, I start growling, I start showing my teeth, I start just, I don't talk to people, I just glare at people. It's and so Frank originally was the mediator who was supposed to be the one who, came in and told whatever the fuck that thing was to fuck the fuck off and let me do my thing. And then I, again, being younger, not understanding, kind of twisted him into being partially of that thing, but not, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely, I do.
I have one of those angry things too, and it comes out like if I'm really upset, like it's just evil. It destroys things. It destroys people. It does really mean things, says things, and there's no control. I have no control over it. In my parents, many a times, why are you acting like this? Why are you so mad? I don't fucking know. I'm just mad and I want to kill everybody. Michael asks me sometimes, why are you so mad? Why are you yelling at me all the time? Because I'm just fucking mad. I don't know why, but I'm going to fucking destroy this stupid house and everything in it.
And you have no fucking idea why. Not a fucking clue.
No.
My question is, do you think that the voices and these are coping mechanisms in some ways? Like, especially towards what you were saying, JP, do you think that it's kind of the way, like, Frank was one way for you, it was your guardian, but it's kind of changed over? Do you think it's just how you cope with stuff or your state of mind at the time? Or
see, I never really thought about it like that. I could see that. But
that's me asking from the outside, I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, yeah, okay, yeah. So basically, he's asking, like, does the mediator, does it change with, does it change according to your surroundings? Like, does it become more cynical due to what you've gone through and makes you extra cautious? If I'm understanding correctly.
To a point, yes, but I'm also asking, like, do you think the voices and stuff are just manifest themselves as a coping mechanism for dealing with the actual root of the mental illness?
Oh,
and they tend to take over their own issues as time proceeds. You understand what I mean now?
Yeah, no, yeah, then no. That's definitely no. I could see where that idea would come from, what it would look like, definitely, because I do know that whatever that creature is was created out of a very traumatic moment in my life as a child, and it. I could see that, but then just at the same time, there's just so many other situations. Yeah, I don't know. I can see where you get that thought, what it would look like, but no, I don't personally believe that is simply just a coping mechanism for you to get through what actually happened.
So can I chime in on this?
That being possible is I have a 3-year-old personality in me. And when things get real bad or I get real stressful or upset, my 3-year-old comes out. And I kind of feel like she comes out because that's when she felt safest, was as a very young child. It wasn't until I was between 5 and 7 that things really started going bad. And 7 years old, is when they really, really get bad. And I kind of feel like my 3-year-old comes out because she needs that comfort, and that's when she felt safest.
Okay, that's a good point. Let me see if I can turn Stampede's volume back on. He had a little noise going on there.
Yeah, starting my car. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're back.
So I have a question that goes along with all that. Do each of these personalities embody a certain emotion? So, like, if you have one personality that's always angry and always violent, you think that is just your emotion, and that personality takes over that entire emotion? Or do each of these personalities have a range of emotions as well?
A range.
Well, for me, Frank, yes, has a fucking wide variety of emotions for himself. But again, there is that just anger that I do feel, yes.
Like, sometimes I feel like they're chameleons, like they just blend into to each other, and it takes me a while to decipher who's who. And sometimes I can decipher right away. Other times it takes me weeks because it's like they're a chameleon and they're all just one, when I know they're not, because I can hear multiple voices and different voices in my head, but it's like they're all blended into one, but I know they're not.
So have you guys seen the movie Split?
Yes.
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
Is that like an accurate description of kind of how it is? Because he goes out and then he has the beast, which really reminds me of your anger, your rage and stuff like that. He has the beast that he calls it. Is that sort of accurate? I know it's Hollywood and stuff like that, but it really kind of reminds me of how you guys are talking about it.
Dude, that movie was. I if I could, I'm sitting in my car, but if I could, I'd give it a standing applauding for how accurate it hit mental illness, because it, especially multiple personality, it was just me. Thankfully, I've got, just the three of us, right? Other people, Living Dead Girl, for instance, has more than just the three. And then there's other people who, like in Split, yes, like you said, it is Hollywood, so they like to glamorize a lot of things. But I have met people who, not people, how do I say this? Okay, so you've seen Split. I'm guessing because you brought it up. You remember?
Yeah.
The other personality who had diabetes while the rest of them did not, right?
Yeah.
There was this guy who was at, a bunch of the shows that I was going to, the ICP, Twisted, Blaze, everything like that. And he was one of the first people who I thought understood me, but then I got to meet him and get to know him, and I realized I was not as bad as that. So I thought maybe it was just like I was tripping, and I was just, I thought maybe I started doubting everything, right? This guy was fucked up. I hate to say that, but damn. Like you said earlier on, Living Dead Girl and I, we can get through society to a degree. This guy was able to get through the shows, and he was able to get through the mosh pits, and that because he told me, he's like, that's my therapy. That's what gets me to have control. Outside of that, and he started talking about everything, and he was telling me about one of his other guys that had to take something for MS, and the rest of them didn't, but this one personality had multiple sclerosis. And I'm just like, wait, what the fuck? That's a genetic disease, though. And he's like, no, I'm dead serious. He brought out the pill bottle and everything that had his medication on it, and it had the other person's name, same address and everything, but the other person's name and everything. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. It literally gets this bad. And then when I seen Split, dude, I nearly shit myself. I would tell you to ask my ex, but don't ask her about me. But she would tell you, I literally started crying when I seen that movie because of how accurate they hit.
Yeah, we haven't seen that.
Yeah, because like they talk about how it changes your actual physiology, like and it's an insane idea for people on the outside. who you know don't know and don't live through it, but like you're telling me that there is reality behind that, so that's amazing to me.
See, and that's something I probably wouldn't watch, and Michael would have to watch on his own because that would be a major trigger for me.
I thought it would be. I really did. I thought it would be, but I got to be honest. The way that they approach it, I don't know. I feel you might be able to.
I thought they did a great job of not demonizing it, but really making it like yeah, like I could feel the pain that the guy was going through. You know what I mean? The lead actor, I can't remember what his name is, but he did a great job.
Yeah,
and the therapist, the way that she talks about it, she says like you know, a lot of people think that people with these mental illnesses are less than, but what if they're more than? Mm-hmm. And that was a really like kind of opened my eyes, you know?
Yeah, very true.
Hey, I'm gonna have to cut in here for a personal issue. Michael, I think the pizza rolls are burning in the oven.
Yes.
Sorry, guys, I'm not getting up. I got pneumonia and don't want to waste my energy walking.
Oh shit! They've been sitting in there for like 40 minutes.
What, babe?
Yep, since before we even started this interview.
Oh my God, bring it here. You guys, I've been trying to tell him for like 20 minutes to go get the pizza rolls. Look at this shit.
That's a nice golden brown.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Jesus.
Good job, Gonzo.
Dude, he burns everything.
So, Christina, Living Dead Girl, you're cooking for me, not Gonzo.
But when he cooks in the oven, my chicken tenders and my French fries are always burnt. But he's an excellent.
Well, when I come to visit,
that fucking oven.
When I come to visit, you're cooking for me, Living Dead Girl, not Gonzo.
I got you. For real, he's a bomb ass cook on the stove, but you tell him to put something in the oven, and 4 times out of 5, that shit's coming out burnt to a crisp.
I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna say it like this. Don't ever let me get into your kitchen, because then you're never gonna want me to leave.
Ooh.
That's good too, but you're more than welcome to come cook for me anytime.
I'm just saying, like, I don't care. I don't care what it is. You come up with whatever it is. You give me the recipe, and I am down to do it.
Dude, I'm a fat kid. Food is my life. That's why I'm so fat. Like, food is my depression medicine. Food is my anxiety medication.
Believe that.
It's just life.
Insanity.
I'm a fat dude trapped in a skinny guy's body. I love food too.
I'm working on losing my weight.
Long I don't eat, but come like 4, 5 o'clock, dude. That's all I fucking do is eat all fucking night long, dude.
Well, you're eating for 2 there, Duke.
Yeah, my dick, it gets pretty hungry.
We were going to say what it was, though, but yeah.
My parents are on.
Oh, my bad.
Sorry, Mom. He's savage.
Yeah, he's sorry, Mom. Oh my
God. So I do have a slight problem.
His phone's on.
Okay.
I'm at 12%.
Turn your car on.
Ooh, shit.
Buddy, that's why I turned it on. I've had my phone plugged in, and I've been dropping down in percentage.
Videos take a lot. My phone's almost dead too, and I've been on the charger the whole time.
So how do I turn off my camera?
Okay.
Hold on. Just like that? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll work. We'll test this out for a little bit.
Okay, so to get back on subject, with the split analogies and stuff like that, do you experience your other personalities? Do they have like certain cravings that are different, or certain things that they like doing that are different, or are you are you pretty much in control most of the time and they only take over occasionally?
I won't let Dead Girl speak on that
On
first.
the situation.
I want to say this. It seems like in my personal experience, she don't know when it's happening sometimes. Like the voices and stuff will be there, but when she's one of them, she don't know. She doesn't know, you know? And which for somebody that deals with someone in a relation like this, it takes a lot of patience. You got to remember when somebody is really themselves and when they're not themselves. You almost got to learn to decipher it, you know, and to understand, but then not to assume because you see trends that are stacking up. It becomes a hard balance for somebody that deals with it from the outside.
There was an instance with Michael, like, okay, he's Michael. He always grabs my ass and my boobs. Well, he touched my boob one day and I completely just went nuts, freaked out. Baby talk, everything, saying, don't touch my boobs, those are mine.
Yeah, which was,
and that was from him telling me this happened. I don't remember it, but he said he fucking felt like a pedophile because my little 3-year-old was like, no, don't touch those. Those are mine. Like all childish and shit. And he was like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah, that would fucking freak anybody out, I think.
What about you, Josh? Or JP?
You're good. You're good. See, that's the thing. Until recently, and like by recently I mean like 3-4 months ago, it was definitely I was in control for as long as I had weed. Right? Because you know, I've tried the other medicine, I've tried all sorts of other shit, and I've spoken about my feelings about the medication. You know, I feel they're bullshit. But since I found marijuana, it's been the best thing that's happened to me. I've been having far fewer episodes, quote unquote, but more stability, you know, having more control in those situations. About 3 or 4 months ago, though, I had a little conversation with Frank, and we came to the conclusion. It was actually a lot longer than like 3 or 4 months ago. It was actually just before I dropped Velociraptor.
I have pictures of that night.
January. No, not that night. Not that night. January of 2018. Okay. Him and I spoke. It's actually one of our songs. It's called my mind's tripping, or my mind's playing tricks on me, or some shit like that. It's a remix I did to
Ghetto Boys.
Ghetto Boys. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's an excellent song we played on the radio.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Hey,
oh, hell yeah. Appreciate that.
Question?
What's up?
Okay, so when I was using meth a lot, my drug addiction was stemmed by methamphetamine stop my voices.
Okay.
Have you ever had that happen with you? Anyways, like, because I know it ups people, and some people it makes them hallucinate. But for me, my addiction was strong off the fact that my head was quiet when I was high.
See, like all I do is smoke weed. So like anytime that I'm high, I am in entire control. I have no doubt, and that's the thing between Frank and I. You know, him and I came to that acceptance that we're just gonna run shit together, right? You know, we're just gonna, you know what, you go ahead and take over for right now. I'll come back. Da 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 da. It's gotten to that point now after 20 years. You know what I mean? But now it's definitely, how do I put this? Before, okay, we'll talk about before I was able to actually get control of the entire situation between the both of us, when it was just still trying to figure out what the hell was actually going on. When I was on the marijuana and I was high as fuck, that was the only time that I was actually in control. Any other times, I was not in any kind of control. Maybe like 16 to 20% in control, but majority it was Frank.
So I definitely agree with that, because Mike does not let me run out of weed, because if I run out of weed, that raging cunt comes out of me, dude, and I will destroy the house. Like, even with my medication, yeah, my medications do work, and I always do go for a period of being on them, and then, oh, well, I'm good, I don't need them. I did that for almost 2 years, and dude, I had to go check myself in because eventually the voices would not stop.
I would say it like this. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Without weed.
Yeah. I would say it like this. I haven't been on medication since I was 16, 15, somewhere in that neck of the woods. And it was about 13 that I started smoking weed, and it was about 8 when I started, dealing with these issues. So it kind of spells itself out. I personally, this is my biggest problem with the medication. Personally, I feel because they misprescribed what I actually needed, I feel they made my situations intensified. If you feel what I mean. Like I feel maybe in the beginning when whatever happened, and I feel then maybe, yeah, it could have been simply just a coping mechanism. But once they started trying to put me on medications that I didn't actually need, I feel that caused the actual psychotic break.
Dude, I kind of agree with that because I remember growing up, my mom's ex-husband used to go and tell the psychs that I was doing things I wasn't doing and wouldn't let my mom even talk, and we had to sit out in the lobby. And then when he did bring us in, all he was doing was doping me up on more medication. And I'm like, dude, I didn't even fucking do these things.
See, that's the thing. Like originally, my mom had brought me in for depression because, it was ADHD. Okay, and once they put me on Ritalin for that started to fuck me up worse. And then it became not just ADHD, but OCD. And then they put me on some other shit that fucked it up even worse. And then it almost like you could see the trend happening. Like it started off, the event happened, right? Because I can trace it back to one simple event. The event happened, and something started to split. But then they put me on this medication and caused something more to split open. And so my mind was just trying to find ways to cope with it that they seen as ADHD. And then they seen it as OCD. And then they seen it as bipolar. And then they seen it as ODD, obsessive defiance disorder, or something like that.
Yes.
And then they seen it, and then all of a sudden they put me on fucking some shit called Geodon because I told them that I was, always depressed, but then I was always happy, but then I was always sad, and I just couldn't keep my emotions in check. And then they started seeing certain habits that they thought were schizophrenic, and then sure enough, they put me on Geodon, and that shit just fucked me right up. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I was 9 years old. I was diagnosed ADD, ODD, ADHD, OCD, eating disorders, all this by the age of like 9.
I was about 12 years old when I got my final diagnosis of schizophrenia, and since then,
my bipolar diagnosis, I think, at like 15.
Yeah, since then I haven't been to a doctor. Since then I haven't touched any medications outside of marijuana because that's the only thing that and that's okay. Let me stop myself before I lie. That's not the only thing that ever worked. I will admit, Adderall helped me out, and that's kind of why I find it funny that you said that things seemed better when you were high when you were doing meth. Because right. Adderall and meth is literally just a one compound away from each other. Right. Adderall is legal meth. So for meth to have some kind of positive effect on schizophrenia, multiple personality, on a mental disorder, and be able to quiet voices like that, because it did. It took everything that I was hearing, the screaming, the hollering, the questions that I was questioning that I wasn't actually questioning, took it all away from me. And I could actually hear myself just think.
And that's why my addiction is strong for many years, dude, because I was always trying to chase those fucking voices away, dude.
Always. This because, somebody that doesn't have the same mental illness as you guys, but they were strung out on meth for 2 years, and then they started hearing other voices, and it even got so bad that she started having this internal dialogue that was like a narrator for her life, and it would be like, I'm not going to say her name, but it'd be like, she's opening the cabinet to get a plate, she's grabbing the plate to put her food on it, she's putting her food on the, you know what I mean? So like, it's interesting that it has an opposite effect on somebody that already has the voices in their head that can't control them. And you know what I mean? It's just an interesting
well, I want to say,
sidebar.
I think it might break down something like this because there's people like me that are the opposites. I got the ADD, but with me, it works out where uppers are downers and downers are uppers. So if you're a normal type person that does something that's amphetamine based, it's probably going to rack your brain and cause those voices, you know, dialogue. But if you're a person where it actually mellows you out, like Adderall with JP, it gets down mellow and stuff. It probably slows down the voices and everything else too, you know, including marijuana, you know.
It helps you actually hear.
Okay.
So this brings me to this question. Do you feel like the personalities are manifestations of hyperactivity in your brain?
Very possible.
I did.
Like, I play games with mine. I talk to mine. Like, I've come to the agreement that no matter what medication they put me on, and we don't make enough money for me to have a methamphetamine habit, which is not a good habit to have, or make enough money for me to smoke plethora amount of weed. But I've come to the agreement with my voices, like, I'll be their friends if they be my friends. Like, don't tell me to do no stupid shit and I won't fucking try to kill you. Like, exactly. I have conversations with them. I talk to them quite often, even on medication. When I'm like cooking or something, every once in a while I'll talk to my voices because they're helping me cook. Like, I don't take all their advice. Like, sometimes I got to be like, hey, dude, that's not cool. But I have frequent conversations with my voices.
I've
learned to deal with them. Because if I can talk to them and not be scared of them, then they can't scare me.
The thing I can say about that is I can tell when she's actually having or going through and talking, because I can read her face. I can tell she's actually talking to somebody else just by the expressions on her face. So much expression in it. I don't know how to say it exactly, but it's very, like, you would see gestures, animated gestures. She has animated facial expressions when she's having those conversations.
Interesting.
I'm gonna say it like this. I like I said, at one point I did think that possibly it was a coping mechanism for me to deal with the traumatic events that had happened. Possibly it was just an embodiment of hyperactivity in the brain or other emotions even. Until one point, I remember very distinctly when I realized it was somebody else inside of me, and it was creepy as hell. I'm not going to lie to you. It was creepy as hell. But Frank beat me in a game of chess. Okay, now you got to think, if we're sharing the same brain, I should be able to know exactly what he's going to do, and he should know exactly what I'm going to do, correct?
You think, yeah.
I don't know. One of your voices should have told me my Tostitos were ready. Sorry, guys.
Hey, don't try to pass that blame on me, buddy. You're not getting out of the doghouse.
Go ahead, JP, finish.
But no, I didn't know what he was doing. I had no clue what play he was going to do next, what he was planning on as far as the end game. I didn't know anything he was doing at all. And he told me the same thing. He's like, I had no clue what you were doing. That's what I've been trying to get you to understand. We are separate people. And I'm like, damn. I thought I was.
So do you feel like? So you feel like Frank has a soul? Like Frank, you were sharing the same body, but you guys have two different souls.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Wow, that is incredibly interesting. Very insightful as well.
Like, that is the best way I've ever heard it put. I hate to be that asshole, but even with my phone plugged in, the car turned on and everything, my phone is still dying. I'm now at 8%.
Okay, hang up, you.
Dude, I love the way she put that. Hang up, you.
Wait, who's hanging up?
Go home, and I don't want your phone dying on your drive, so freaking hang up, and we'll continue this with you.
Well, hold on. Well. Okay. So, you're lucky. I love you guys. I'm gonna tell you this right now. You guys are lucky. I love you guys because I don't really know you, King Duke, but you know you're cool people. You seem like cool people, and I will say if you are any friend of Gonzo and Dead Girls, you must be a friend of mine. But I'm gonna tell you all like this: 100%. That's my home. Okay, that's my home. I got
a spare badge and get your ass to Arizona.
I'm not leaving my kids. I'm not leaving my kids.
That's why he wouldn't do it before, babe. We already offered one.
I'm not leaving
you, brother. I feel
He's a good man.
I don't blame you.
All these guys on here are good fathers.
I try to be.
I got my little one over there.
I seen her. She was adorable.
You're probably getting
thanks,
nightmares to our conversation.
Dude, hold on.
No.
I gotta show you.
With my crazy ass all the time.
I gotta show you all this. I found this adorable as all hell. So we're over at my great uncle's house, right? And we're trying to find something to do. And my kids find this box that I'm using as one of my clothes carriers, my hampers, whatever you want to call it, right? Mm-hmm. So they decide to color it, right?
Aww.
Well, hold it up there. I want to see it again. That is awesome, brother.
Right, and then you could tell that my daughter has my sense of personality. She put a poop emoji on my.
Go figure. We were talking about poop emojis earlier.
That is awesome.
I have a poopy
synchronicity.
I will say that right there is a tattoo that I have on my arm.
Nice.
That one right there.
Oh, nice.
The sword in the stone.
Yeah, she did a good job.
No, it's the Master Sword in the Triforce.
Oh.
Yeah, I live in my car. Yeah.
But you got a job.
Yeah.
So
I'm in the parking lot of my job right now.
What? Dude, you're in like Montana or some shit, aren't you?
Minnesota.
It gets cold there.
Yeah, we just went through negative 60 degrees last Wednesday.
How fuck, dude? You need to find a place like.
No, but see, on those days I was sleeping inside the store. So, shit. Hold on. Oh wait, no, we're good because nobody know where exactly in Minnesota I work at. So don't nobody ask for what city I work in, please.
We'll keep that on the L, on the DL.
I ain't trying to get my back in trouble.
APP out on people we know in Minnesota and get him a fucking spot to crash, guys.
No, I'm good. I've got a place coming up here in May. I'm good.
That's fucking 3.5, 4 months away, yo.
I'm good. I'm a big dude. I'm good. I got this. I'm Minnesotan, eh?
He's not going to accept any help anyway.
No, I won't.
Dude, don't let my voices come after your voices.
I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna say it like this. All right, guys, and damn it, I wish I wasn't at 4%. 3%, lovely. All right, fuck. Long story short, okay, I was an abusive asshole to my ex-fiance. Right, both times that we got together, I was not physically abusive, but damn close. I was everything but. It got so bad to the point where I even spit in her face in front of my children while screaming. Exactly. But, like, here's the thing. I'm probably a good 100 pounds heavier, 120 pounds heavier than she. And she's also got her own issues mentally as it is. that's kind of why I'm attracted to her the way that I am, because she goes through similar situations, but not exactly. I don't know. It's close, but let me finish this up before my phone dies, because this has been the first time that I've been getting the chance to actually talk about this situation. When this was going down, we had just broken up about a year ago now. And I still hadn't understood entirely what was going on. I was talking with him and everything like that, but given everything else that was going on with the living environment that I was in and how her and I approached everything else, with the life that we had been through, we had already been very jaded. We've already been very cynical and very, in my case, evil people. Not really, because I am, it's so weird to say, because like, I am the most anti-hero kind of person you could ever imagine. Like, I am an asshole that cares. I'm an asshole with a golden heart. But like, when I am in the situations that I was in, where I had somebody trying to come between the woman that I love and my family as well, and then the rest of my family, I didn't know how to handle it. And I would find myself going to Frank, and that thing disguised itself as Frank and had started to take over. And I had never been in a situation where she, whatever it is, had actually gotten to that point of taking over. So I didn't know how to respond to it. So all anybody ever saw was anger, when in all actuality it was more confusion than anything else. Again, when that thing takes over, I am more animalistic than I am human, right? So how would you imagine a cornered animal to react? It'd lash out, it'd bite, it'd scratch, it'd fight.
Absolutely.
So in that situation, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know who from who. I didn't know what from what. It got... It got so bad. Oh, God damn it. It got so bad one time to where I had started having this nightmare. I want to say it's a nightmare because I thought I was falling asleep, but I had this vision where my ex's hair had started to grow and start strangling me. And she the entire time was crying about why I didn't save her, why I couldn't save her, why was I doing this to her, why was I treating her like this? And through the thing that I was having, I remember I tore out of her hair and I ran to the kitchen, and then I turned around and everything that I had seen had just turned to nothing but blood. It was just, you were wading through a river of blood. There, the walls were just dripping like just piles of blood. And I had walked into my children's room with the butcher knife, and I had seen what I thought were demons in their beds. And then I remember I came to standing in the doorway of my kids' room with a butcher knife in my hand. And I had no fucking idea. I thought I was still laying in bed having a nightmare.
So you actually were doing these things, but you didn't know because that thing took over.
To a degree. I was getting up and walking around and seeing everything that was happening. But I don't know. I do know when I was being choked by her hair, I couldn't move. In the vision, the thing, whatever I was having, the sleepwalk, whatever, I was standing up, but I couldn't move. I was paralyzed. I couldn't fucking move. And my phone's dying. I gotta go. My phone's dying. I gotta go. I'm sorry. My phone's dying.
Hey, man, much love, bro. It's been a great interview.
Next week.
Wait, let's continue because I want to comment on what he just said.
We're going to continue. We're going to continue when you guys are off. I think maybe Josh will stay on and we'll continue the radio for next 40 minutes. And but no, this is good. Like, I love this. There's a hashtag have hope. Go ahead and say what you had to say, but I designed that hat.
I'm saying that it reminds me about a lot of our fights where you say that I do things and I'm like, dude, you're fucking out of your mind. I did not do it. And that's also, they put me on a medication that blocks my sleep, my dreams, and my memory because I have night terrors and I act out on them. Like I said, I've been found with butcher knives. I've been found out in BFE, and they're all from my dreams. So now they have me on this medicine called Prozocin that completely blocks my dreams. I cannot remember dreaming. And it's because of shit like that. Huh, Michael?
Yeah, which also makes me worried too, because they say if you don't dream, you drive yourself crazy. Dreams are necessary. So it's always been a worry of mine that
I do have dreams, but I don't remember them, or I don't anything like that.
okay,
My
well,
body still dreams, but it doesn't come out, and I don't act on them or do anything.
Dead girl.
Yes.
Have you hinted with psychedelic drugs?
No, but we've talked about that.
Yeah, no, I never have, but we have talked about it. But I've also been really worried about it because I've heard it go extremely wrong in people that have issues like I do.
Well, what I would say is to microdose to start out with. But I think if like we were talking about how certain things have opposite effects for other people, if you are having hallucinations already, maybe, and I'm not a doctor or a psychologist or anything like that or a pharmacist, but maybe a hallucinogen would kind of make you not hallucinate. You know what I mean? It might bring you.
I don't know if I'm willing to take that chance, because if it goes backwards, someone's gonna get. I know how my hallucinations already are and how bad they get. I don't know if I would be willing to try that out without having a group of people to supervise me, like a group of friends, something, and it would have to be where nobody else is doing it either. Because I'm really terrified that if it goes the opposite way instead of helping me, that I'm going to hurt myself or kill someone.
Yeah, that's where a guide comes in, and I can speak on this from personal. We lost JP, much love to him. Fucking where it's helped me out, like it has reset my brain. And what I think Josh is speaking on is like the military and other people have done test runs on it, trials, and they say it helps reset the brain. Like it's been over since the second Gulf War, that they had tried MDMA on different on soldiers and stuff, see if it reset their brain, and it was found to have positive effects for PTSD. And then also speaking from personal experience, and I've only done psilocybin and MDMA and what do you call it? Fucking is a part of the peyote plant, mescaline. Okay, and it has always reset my brain, but you can't overdo stuff. You know what I mean? There's always a fine line on stuff. I've done way too much MDMA and mescaline in a month, and where I turned my head, it feels like my head's catching up to it. So I think if you overdo it, it's a negative effect. But if someone like per se was do it maybe 2 times a year or something like that, it might actually be able to reset their brain and maybe keep some of these things away. But they also say too is without reconstructing your mind and the mind it works, which takes a lot of psychological work. It's like training for the Olympics for your mind, as it's been explained to us, to really help with a lot of PTSD, the things that it causes, which can be pseudo seizures, night terrors, developing schizophrenia, stuff like that. I mean, so there is benefits to what King Duke is saying, but on a personal level, I'm fucking scared shitless to do that with you and see how it would be with you. And 2, I don't think I could do it sober because I can't send anybody on it while I'm sober. So, I mean, kind of fucked right there.
Yeah, and that's why I said microdosing. And also, from personal experience, I think that you do want everybody on the same psychedelic trip, because it makes you feel uncomfortable when you're tripping. Actually, when you're tripping and somebody else isn't tripping, it makes you feel uncomfortable, like you kind of, you know what I mean? It fucks up the energy.
Right, but if you have a trip and you're around someone that has a fucked up trip, it's gonna fuck your trip up even more.
But see, you always have in that group that one person that jumps ahead and says, that guides you through everything, that keeps things light, because there's always tricks to stuff. Like going through a bad trip where someone said cop, everyone started freaking out for no fucking reason. And the homeboy said, I created water, which made him cry, which made everybody cry. We cried until we started laughing our asses off, and it corrected the negative effect.
Fucked up. I had a friend that actually died tripping out watching SpongeBob. He held his breath so long he fucking killed himself because he thought he was underwater with SpongeBob.
He didn't have a proper guide. That's all I can really say to that.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of acid. I've done a lot of acid. I used to cook DMT. I've done a lot of mushrooms. I've done a lot of salvia. I'm very, very seasoned. I'm a seasoned vet when it comes to
epidemic with bath salts, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I did do some of those, but I
was to fucking bang that shit mixed with meth. I was mixing meth, heroin, bath salt with vodka and banging that shit. And that story's been verified, hasn't it, Michael?
It has been very verified, and it trips me out because I've done the whole heroin, meth, vodka mix before, and wow, don't do it. Just don't fucking shoot it. Don't do dumb
Y'all
shit.
Are way more hardcore than me.
Past experience stuff here, past experience as a functional addict for a long time. Yeah, don't do all that shit. But it blows my mind to throw bath salt in there and shit. I'd probably be trying to eat my own wiener or something. I don't know. Like
honestly,
it just blows me
away. From what I understand, like I did something called bliss, which some people were calling bath salts, and it was just like a weak ecstasy. It's like weak MDMA is kind of what it reminded me of. It didn't make me want to eat nobody's face. That's for damn sure. It didn't make me trip out or nothing like that. But I also only snorted it. I've never put a needle into my arm with anything. But that's just me. I'm just kind of like afraid to do that. I've never tried it. But I have done like
was strong on somebody else
once.
My addiction was strong on somebody else. I was never able to hit myself. So anytime I got high, somebody else was doing it for me. So for 5.5 years, my addiction was solely strung on another person.
Wow.
Like my addiction could have stopped a long time ago if they would just not do it. But I had the argument it stopped my voices.
Okay, so that's what I was going to get to. Back onto the mental awareness. Do you feel like doing those drugs added another personality, or do you feel like it took them away temporarily?
They took them away temporarily. I don't have anybody new that I haven't had since I was like 5 or 6.
Now, do you feel like? So do you remember?
Go ahead.
Do you remember any time before you had multiple personalities? Do you remember anything from there, or is it something that you've kind of always had?
My personality people have grown up in life with me. They have been there as long as I can remember. Like I said, when I was little, it got pushed off as imaginary friends. And they've always been there for as long. I don't ever remember a time that they were not a part of my life.
Man, that makes me feel like, because JP, when we were talking, he said, I said that, I asked him if he felt like him and Frank and his creature or whatever were all sharing the same body, but they were separate souls. So that makes me feel like on a spiritual level, like that, there might be some, validity to that. So you feel like you've grown up with, you said 7 personalities, right?
Yeah. I have been legally, clinically diagnosed with 7 different personalities.
So do you agree with that statement that you're 7 separate souls sharing the same body?
Maybe to a degree. I don't really know how to really answer that because I personally have never seen all 7 of them, because I don't remember them. But when you get talked to like my friends, my parents, even Michael. Michael has seen 4 or 5 of them. Michael, explain to him the ones you have personally seen yourself, please.
Well, I've met the child. I have met Christina. I have met the naughty Christina, the hyper aggressive in every form way. Let me see. Then there's the real bitch of them all. And I kind of put her personalities to personality traits. There's the extremely jealous, paranoid. Did I mention the really bitchy one? That one's like rough.
I went around a lot, and like I get told all the time, "Why are you being such a bitch?" Maybe not by him all the time, but by others. I'm like, dude, I'm not being a bitch. That's who I am. And they're like, no, like you just fucking said this. They're like, oh well, that sucks to be you, but oh well, it happened. Like my bitch of a personality is very, very volatile and very mean, and will do and say things. Oh hey, I had a miscarriage with twins back in 2012. When my ex and I used to get him fight and that bitch would come out, she used to tell him, "You're a fucking baby murderer. It's your fault our kids died." Knowing damn well like he really didn't have much to do with it.
Wow.
And see, these personalities deal with unresolved issues. That's why I was wondering if earlier if they're a coping mechanism, because they're the ones that are able to speak on these unresolved issues, as in like losing, the babies.
And there's a possibility too that it's different for JP and it's for living
right
dead girl. Like sameness, but differently by it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I have a question. He has names for his Frank and the creature. Do you have names for each of your personalities?
The only one I've picked a suitable name for is Corinne, which is my sister's name. That's the nice one. I haven't really. Well, I got George. George is just the fucking weird ass dude that's just completely perverted out there. Fucking, that's George, dude. Like.
So I'm gonna ask a real fucked up question after this. Go ahead and finish.
But other than that, I haven't really even named them because I don't like them. They're not suitable for a name. Like,
okay.
If that makes sense. I don't like them. I don't want to name them because it makes them more real. And when I give them a name, I feel like they feel it's okay to come around because I'm validating them by giving them a name.
Which makes sense because a lot of cultures do that when they don't want to invoke a name, but is invoking something by saying its name. Like they wouldn't speak upon the devil. So that makes a ton of sense.
Kind of like they don't say Voldemort in Harry Potter.
Right. They'll say
really
3 times.
If I give them a name, that's going to make them come more potent and be worse than they already are. And let me tell you, they're pretty fucking bad, dude. I wake up with random scratches and bruises all over me all the time. And I feel that's one of them. Like, nobody else is hurting me in my sleep. I wake up gasping for air thinking someone's choking me. I feel it's one of them.
So they having a name themselves. Hey, Christina, it's Bob. I'm coming out to play. Like they don't do that.
No.
They're just there, it seems.
When they come out, they come in a flash. It's like turning a light switch on. They don't come suddenly or slowly. It's just a light. Like if they would come slowly on, maybe I would be able to control them or deteriorate them from what they're saying or trying to do. But it's literally like a light switch. I will be okay 1 second, and then the next is you flick the light and it's somebody else. And then they go away like that. And then like Michael will be like, what the fuck, dude? What is wrong with you? What are you talking about? I haven't even fucking said anything. I've been watching TV. He's like, nah. Like, sometimes I'll make a mean ass comment. And he'll be like, what the fuck did you just say that for? I'm like, I didn't say nothing. He's like, yeah, you did. And I didn't even know I said anything.
I'll be like, man, there's
Wow.
a story about this thing, and it's real sweet. Ain't that beautiful? Fuck that thing. I'm like, what? You just said fuck that little baby that got saved right now? You're like, fuck that baby. I'm like, oh shit, here we go.
Damn, that's got to be tough to deal with. So, Mike, I got a question for you. This is the fucked up question.
Did I ever have sex with George?
No, I haven't let him put it in my butt, so I don't think he has.
Yeah. Is that where you were going?
Damn right, that's where I was going.
I'm sure he's had sex with many of the men in my head because there's only the one female, and that's the little girl. And well, no, there's two: the little girl and then Corinne. Those are the only two, and he's already said he can't have sex when Corinne's around because that's my sister.
And you definitely don't want to bang the little girl.
Right? So.
Oh my God, tell him about that incident where, like, I flipped in the middle.
I don't remember this one. I have.
When we were in the middle of fooling around, and then I flipped into the little girl, and you were like,
he brought that up earlier. Yeah, he talked about that earlier.
Oh, she did about the boob thing. Yeah, we talked about. Yeah, we want to get off of this. Like, yeah, no, I don't believe I'm a schizophrenic homosexual either.
I didn't say that.
Like, I'm so lost on this. I'm lost on this. How do I decode this conversation?
Don't think about it too much, Mike. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. On that note, I got to talk to Spreaker folks real quick. Spreaker, we love you. Glad you're on. If you want to see where the rest of this interview goes, guess what? Go to Gonzostylez Radio. It's on YouTube. Check us out. Fucking The Couch, Take Questions, King Duke, all the Gonzostyle crew is on there. So give us a like, hit that subscribe, tell some friends about it. I'm sure somebody's into something. And also, have hope. Don't forget that. You're not alone. Have hope. And just to show you depressing music is awesome. How about a double shot of Dark Half? We're going to do Last Call and Dilemma.
If you have any questions or comments or concerns, you can hit me up at on the Living Dead Girl page.
Sure can. That's on Facebook. Absolutely. You can also go ahead.
I was just gonna ask when Letters to the Living Dead is going to be a full-blown reality.
Very good question. Sunday night, next Sunday. In replacement of The Couch on Sunday or Mondays, we're doing Letters to the Living Dead on Sundays, The Couch on Wednesdays, 10 Questions with King Duke on Tuesdays, and if one gets yeehaw on, swing your sister around a little bit, I'll tell you what, Fridays we have the Country Rap Rebel Hoedown, or Party. I'm sorry, I couldn't say Hoedown. I got vetoed on that name. Yeah. You throw my Hoedown, what? Okay, so yeah, Spreaker, enjoy the music.
I'll hold down out here.
Have hope.
Next week's show is going to be dedicated to Michael, the one that passed away. We're not live on anything, are we?
You're live on YouTube.
Okay, I will talk to you about the reason it's dedicated to him after we're not live.
Hey,
Okay.
Absolutely. I agree. Yes, definitely. What was I gonna say? I'm fucking stuck on this song, dude. Fucking Dark Half, Last Call, dude. Like, oh my god, dude. Like, she ever left me? I'm sorry, I feel it. I feel when he says I fucking just shoot myself with a shotgun and blow my brains out. Like, I found that love, you know what I mean? But music's such a coping, dude. Music's such a coping mechanism. Like, I would never have found my way to the path that led me to her and what I'm doing now, and hopefully being able to give back to people if it wasn't for people like, whether you like him or not, Haystack, you know what I mean, Jelly Roll, Struggles, Mad Child, you know, this music that showed me people that could rise above it, that live in where I'm living, that weren't that were gonna stumble too. You know what I mean? That they weren't perfect. Like, this is how you do it. You know? They're like, fuck, dude, I was doing all this, and I'm hoping I'm getting better. You know? Like, that's the big thing I think for me, and the idea for Letters to Living Dead is, you know, just to be able to show the people, not just saying call in and talk to somebody else going through it, but the fact that they could see the relationship between them and their music, why they're into this shit, you know? Whether, like, Bloody Records had cutting fingers off or fucking... Go ahead.
The Letters to the Living Dead was supposed to be like a Dear Abby segment where people just called in or wrote in and asked fucking stupid whatever, and we gave advice for the hell of it. Like, I could tell somebody, well, I suggest you go finger bang that orangutan.
Right? Good advice.
And then I ended up checking myself in, and we got a total twist after the whole Beast Mode interview you did. And we decided, and I checked myself in and got the help I needed. And then we decided that, Michael, knock it off.
I'm scratching my neck.
And then
scratching my neck.
He got the idea of this, and then I took it and ran with it. And that's how we came Letters to a Living Dead.
Yeah, dude. And that's what it is JP heard they really got this going. I just kind of was like, we got to do something. I want to do something for you guys. I don't get it. And they ran with it and found a therapy, and hopefully therapy for other people.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing to do.
Killed himself. Either way, population control.
Bright side, baby, bright side.
Right. But so yeah, like, and it's, you know, like, we're dealing with everything, you know, suicide, you know, overdose, addiction, it's all intermingled. Like, nobody happy ever said, hey, I'm just gonna kill myself today, you know? Like, it all leads together, you know?
I think one of the greatest lessons I've learned in life recently is that happiness is fleeting and suffering is you know, gonna happen. We're all suffering from something. And if you learn to just accept that life is about suffering and life is not about anything other than suffering, you can learn to cope with that suffering, and you can learn to be happy through the suffering. But if you're always for happiness in a way to quit suffering, you'll never be happy because you never quit suffering.
Right.
Like, you know, I tell Michael all the time I can see spirits, and he thinks I'm absolutely batshit crazy, which I am, but I talked to this one spirit, which is Michael, the one that passed away. He died from alcohol poisoning. So he comes around a lot, or I feel he does. I don't know if maybe he's another one of my personality that comes out to make it okay for him that passed away, so it eases and lets me deal with it this way, or if it's really him coming around. Like,
it's not I don't believe you. It's not that I don't believe you. It's just how much, because I've seen shit. Like, I've showed you my own stories where I've seen shit. I know there's, and this is a Travis Spade conversation, there's other entities and energies on multi different levels and, you know, whatnot. But I wonder is coping too, you know what I mean? And I have that analytical mind where I really try and find reasons for everything. Sometimes there isn't reason. And sometimes I'm just fucking scared shitless and I don't know how to deal. Just being honest, you know?
He's seen
and that
lines or the fans start swinging really, really fast. And I tell Michael to stop it because he's scaring me, and they'll instantly stop. And then I'll say, okay, go ahead. And they'll start going again. And Michael has seen this. I believe every yellow butterfly I see is my grandpa and Michael coming to see me. Especially if they come around anniversary dates or even around my kids' dates. Like, I feel like that's them telling me, Mom, we're okay.
Yeah, my baby mama, she has a niece that died as an infant, and every time she sees purple butterflies, she feels like that's Kaylee visiting her. And to go even further into that, my brother and sister-in-law that lost that daughter, they had another daughter 9 years later, and they named her Gracie Fame, which was named Kaylee Grace, and she was a twin to Gracie's older sister Lexi. And Gracie, ever since she was a little girl, has been saying, "I'm not Gracie, I'm Kaylee." And without even knowing about having an older sister named Kaylee, because she never knew her. What you were saying was they might be one and the same. It really could be that it's all one and the same. I do believe that everything is everything. I think that the voices in your head, like Mike said, might be a manifestation of different emotions, but I do believe that they're also their own separate entities, and I don't think that you have to differentiate between them, because maybe there's not a difference between them. Maybe just because they're one thing doesn't mean they can't be another too.
Right.
I totally love you guys as open-minded about this. I just spent all my life trying to get my parents to understand, but not being able to explain it. And that's why I was really glad that they were on here listening to it. They did sign off and said they would come back and watch it, the rest of it later. But
it's probably tough on them too, to be honest.
It probably is. But I love the fact that it's not just Michael sitting in here. It's another outsider.
Although not really outsider, but yes.
To what?
Yeah, I like to study psychology. I'm very into psychology. I'm very into sociology. I'm a very spiritual person as well, and I think that they all coincide. I'm not very religious because I think religion separates people, but that's a different topic, anyways. But I do believe that our physical realm that we live in, this is just an experience, and our souls and our spirits that reside inside these physical bodies, I think that they're eternal, just like the energy. You can't create it or destroy it. You know what I mean? On, and I think that the point I'm trying to get at is, just because you have multiple beings experiencing the same life through the same eyes in your body doesn't mean that you're less than or not as good as anybody else. It actually means that you have a way more unique and an insightful way of looking at things. Your point of view, it has to be much greater than most of ours, because we're only aware of things through one mind.
No, see, and I'm a very big, I overanalyze every situation, every incident, on how it can go good, how it can go bad, and how it's in between. And I get all of those points of views out before I make decisions on anything or speak on things. Like Michael tells me a lot, geez, you overanalyze everything so much. But I can't help it. That's just how I am.
That's coming from me telling her this.
And you're somebody that overanalyzes a lot of things too, right?
Yeah.
I will overanalyze a situation on how it's going to come out to someone dying because of a situation that anybody else would have been like, dude, why does your fucking head think like that? It's bad.
Me, I don't overanalyze anything. I hardly think about anything before I do anything. You know what I mean? I go through life winging it. You know what I mean? And I'm perfectly fine with that, because I feel like if you overthink things, that you're letting doubt have a chance to dictate your actions. You know what I mean? And I don't let doubt dictate any of my actions. If I have a thought, I'm trying to execute it right then and there. Because
on the other hand, I'm very impulsive also. I'll jump on a bus and travel all the way across the country. I've done it many of times without a care in the world. I've gotten up many times and left my home, jumped on a bus and went from Arizona to Michigan with nothing but the clothes on my back. I've done it 3 times now.
That's interesting. you can be super analytical and also super impulsive, because those two things definitely don't go hand in hand. You know what I mean?
Right.
Dude, I got on a bus from Michigan and went to North Carolina, all in the hopes that I would be doing something in the country rap industry. That turned out to be a big old phony shit.
Bad Boy South.
Not a care in the fucking world. And I analyzed it every which way possible. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do it. I may be homeless, but you know what? Would it be the first time? Let's do it.
And then we had decided I'm heading out to North Carolina out of California just to go be with her. Never really hadn't had much contact before that. A lot of meeting and stuff. So it was like a big thing. Like she moved there and then brought me out there. Like very.
He got his ticket out there before we even knew either one of us had a real place to live.
So is this before you guys knew me?
About 3-4 months before we knew you, bro.
Wow. Okay. I was gonna say, if you guys wanted to get in the country rap scene, you should have just talked to me.
That's what I wanted to do. Like I messed with KBE before this cult music stuff, but I outside of the country rap scene, I only mess with Van Brando. Like that's my dog, my ride or die. I will always be in his corner. He said more than once, anywhere he goes, no matter what label, what he does, I will be by his side. But other than that, dude, country rap is my thing, dude. I'm a country girl at heart. Like, I will admit there's music that Brando makes that I don't listen to because it's not my scene. I am a diehard country. You catching me listening to music? I got Kane Brown on Florida Georgia line, all that shit playing. That's my go-to. Like, I am the
It's funny because I'm from the country, I was born in St. Louis and I grew up around St. Louis, but ever since ninth grade, I grew up in Salem, Missouri, which is a population of 5,000 people in the thing but woods around it. And I fucking don't listen to country music at all. And the only reason I got acquainted with the country rap scene is because I was working with Anthony, and that's kind of his thing. And I was actually very surprised at the level of talent of some of the guys in there. But I was like, how many untalented individuals are in the country rap scene?
Well, when I met Bad Boy South, that's how I met Shotgun Shane and Upchurch, and then I came across Just in Time. Dude, I know all the bullshit he does and blah, 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 dude. I love his fucking song, Jar Full of Shine, dude. That's my jam right there. That is my shit right there. I love that.
Me and Justin, we don't get along. Me and Justin don't get along, but I will never take away from the fact that he is one of the biggest people in country rap right now, and he throws the best parties in country rap that I've been to, at least. And, I have a problem saying it.
I can't seem to get anybody in the country rap scene to give me a timer today, which really sucks. I've tried with Shotgun Shane, and dude, I used to promote and push Shotgun Shane shit all the time. He was I got him and Bad Boy South booked on a spot in Pontiac, Michigan. They both bitched out on me, afraid to come to fucking Michigan because there was nothing but colored people. Yeah, dude.
Doesn't the Machine Shop do? Doesn't the Machine Shop? They do a lot of big country rap shows in Flint.
Yep. I got them booked for a show for my birthday, dude. And they both flaked out. And I still moved to North Carolina to fucking help Bad Boy South. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It honestly, we're
keeping it real here today.
Well, yeah,
have any real issue with anybody in country rap, but I feel like there's a lot of them in country rap that have such a big head for such little accomplishments. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. And I probably wouldn't be so mean about it right now, but dude, I packed up my shit, fucking clothes on my back, and moved to North Carolina to fucking be his manager, dude. And nothing came of it of a year and a half. He didn't let me
I
know.
mean,
Like, he didn't pay anything. I had a friend of mine buy some dude that was absolutely obsessed with me. Fucking, I told him that, yeah, he could come out there and be with me if he bought me a ticket. That's how I got my ticket. Like, and then I blocked him on Facebook and every social media site. Dude, that was really
savage.
because then I unblocked him when I needed money, and got the fool to send me $100 and then blocked his ass again.
There's personality number 5 for you.
The gold digger.
No, it's just if I want something, I do what I got to do to get it. And I can't help it if the dude was fucking absolutely obsessed with me. I showed no intent shit to him, dude. No.
You gotta take what you can get when you can get it.
2 minutes, I got to call off on Spreaker. Spreaker will end. But I wanted to show you guys this.
Have hope. Oh yeah, that's beautiful, bro.
Badass.
Hey, I gotta hop off here anyways, guys. But it has been a great interview, and I learned a lot about multiple personality disorder, and I think that anybody that watches this will learn a lot about it as well. I want to thank you guys for letting me be a part of it.
For the next show?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
It sounds good. Well, I guess that's us kicking it off. I want to thank JP, who could make it all the way through. I want to thank King Duke, Living Dead Girl. It's been open. It's been honest. Insightful and truly Gonzo, I believe. Like, you got a lot of insight in, whether you disagree or agree, whatever it is. You know, we just want you to know, if no one's told you today, my case manager, Will, back at my rehab, he loves you. He does. We love you too. I'll tell that story one day. But any last words, guys?
Have hope.
That's right. Hashtag have hope.
Definitely have hope. You're not alone. You're not a bad person just because other people don't understand you, and just because other people can't relate to you. There's people out there that can and that do and that want to. So never be afraid to express who you truly are, because there's other people out there that are experiencing the world much like you are. And they need you to speak out so that they feel like they have something to connect to.
Well, I want you guys to know that you can. Next week, we'll have a phone number for you to call in. And I also wanted to go ahead and we had an artist in his own unique way call in.
Before you play that, I want to say one more thing.
Leave a message of hope, but first, the Living Dead Girl.
For all the people listening that don't suffer from mental illness, don't be so quick to judge people by the cover of their book. Because just because other people suffer, we don't put it out there, because that's showing our vulnerability and weaknesses. So don't always be quick to judge somebody, because you never know what they're truly going through.
Absolutely. I need to sign off, tell Speaker good night. All right, folks, we'll start with that Body Bag Syndicate song next week. Want to thank you guys for having tuned in for the interview. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. We'll be on talk a little more in the next couch tonight. We went kind of serious because it's a serious issue, mental illness, suicide, and overdose it's tragic, and we just want you to know you're not alone. If you want to catch more of the interviews, go to Gonzostylez Radio on the YouTube, and get to talk to my corny ass, Living Dead Girl, JP, and King Duke. All right, guys, this is DJ Gonzo. This is The Couch signing off. Much love. Keep it Gonzo.
Now we all need to go share that on our Facebooks. I'm hanging up.
You're hanging up.
Yeah, Josh is.
I can't share it on shit till tomorrow. I got kicked off of Facebook.
Facebook is spanking him. Hey, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna design a sexist fuck hat like this, right? And send it to you.
Ooh.
And
dude, please do.
If you like them, we can do custom hats for people. Just saying.
Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. That'd be dope.
All right.
That'd be dope.
All right.
Hell yeah, dude. I fuck with that design. I like the way you do your lettering, like I was telling you earlier, man.
Yeah, thank you. I will see what we can do. I'll start posting some of them and shit. This ain't even nowhere near done. It's got to be textured and shit. Laid
Well,
out.
you know, another thing you could do is go to thrift stores and find like white Nikes or something and start customizing those. You know what I mean?
Oh, he did that
Like
when we lived in
people
North
fuck with
Carolina with the red
customized
hat.
shoes.
What'd you say, LDG?
I told him you did that in North Carolina with the red hat.
Yeah, I showed the red hat. I can show it again. Spray painted it. Boom. Oh, got the hood on there. Sorry. Good old Purdue. That's San Bernardino right there. That's Art. I don't ever do nothing wrong. Art's the motherfucker. You seen my art somewhere? He did it. I mean, his art somewhere.
You got multi personalities.
Yeah, sometimes. But mine play well together.
Yeah, I do too. King Duke and Josh Marino are two way different people.
Yeah. And we're not even going to throw a penis joke in there.
Yeah. That's a whole nother creature.
Yeah. So, for Facebook, I'm already getting tired. YouTube, it's been a long day. I know you had a long day. Patriots won. I know everybody's sad and depressed. It'll be okay. I
Go
think.
slit your wrist and drown in the bathtub. Totally just kidding. Please, nobody do that. I don't want to go to jail because you took that dumb advice of probably somebody that was not me saying it. That was that little.
Hey, no face, no case.
Just pops off at the mouth.
No face, no case. They can't see you.
The candy store.
Yes, if I wanted to sugarcoat it, I'd go to a candy store.
Right?
Damn
Tell
right.
them about the zipper too, baby.
Do what?
Tell them about the zipper. You want to hear the lip.
If I wanted your lip, I'd pull it off my zipper. And on that note, good night.
All right,
See you
family.
later, you beautiful fucks.
Right. Beautiful fucks. Oh my Gonzo people. Mad love to you, homie. Fucking until we do this Wednesday. Chucky Chuck, don't give a fuck's coming back on. And it was a good hit before. Hopefully it's a good hit again. We'll probably piss a couple people off from the old KMK camp, but ain't gonna take it so hard. All right, much love, Chucky Chuck. This Wednesday, 9 o'clock Pacific, 8 Mountain, 7. Wait, I'm going backwards. 9 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Mountain, 11 Central, and East Coast, you're just fucked, dude. Go to bed. Good night. Peace.
The Beagle interview. Beagle Oneism from Baker Skateboards.
Nice.
Hey,
you're breaking up again. Do it again.
Oh, Beagle Oneism from Baker Skateboards. 10 questions with King Duke. Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central. Love you guys. Have a good weekend. The rest of the weekend. Fuck Mondays. I love y'all. Peace.
Peace.